Top story on ABC News Breakfast this morning. There's renewed criticism this morning of COAG, the meeting of state premiers and the federal government. This morning, COAG will be talking education, including a new skills funding arrangement at TAFE level.
The Skills Minister, Chris Evans, says the proposal would see the states paying for basic training. The Commonwealth would fund higher level qualifications. Speaking earlier this morning, the Queensland Premier Campbell Newman said he will be advocating for greater competition between the states.
Every state should be able to try and have the lowest possible tax regime or the minimal amount of regulation to actually try and attract business and investment and create jobs, and that's really where we're coming from.
The Federation is effectively, though, an economic union. Shouldn't you be working together to compete with other countries for businesses and not yourselves?
No, I believe that we should actually have healthy competition between states, and I'm afraid that what we've seen in the last few years out of the COAG process is really a dumbing down of our approach to regulation. It's all very well, and it sounds very seductive to say we're going to have harmonisation of regulations, but for example, the way that funds are distributed around the states these days. I mean, you're positively penalised if you actually want to have, let's say, a lower payroll tax or conditions. I mean, they actually say, well, you're not pulling your weight. That's the way it actually the money's carved up. They actually look at whether you're pulling your weight in terms of your own tax take, and if you're not, then you miss out on GST funding. So that's just perverse. I mean, what we want to do is get rid of 18,000 pages of regulation and red tape that Labor brought in Queensland. We want to do that over the next 6 years. We've got some significant payroll tax initiatives which we're going to implement over the next 6 years as well, increasing the threshold where payroll tax kicks in. And we also want to hand back a large amount of stamp duty to people buying their first home on the 1st of July. So, that's where we're coming from, and we feel we should be able to do that, and all states should be able to do that if they wish.
So you say dumbing down, so lowest common denominator stuff, is that what you say?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's the concern that we have, that to get a deal on, it might be workplace health and safety, or it might be something to do with the management of heavy vehicles or whatever. I mean, these are just hypotheticals. But then what you see is, to get the deal, you actually end up with something that sort of suits everyone, but it's not particularly spectacular.